it's me again. Don't know where that came from. We got the Britney angle going on, so, yeah. Anyway, I wanted to make this video about why I think people hate Pokimane or dislike her. Hate might be a really strong word, I don't know. But I went into this video and at the start I had a feeling like I would end up pushing back on a lot of the hate towards Pokimane. And to be clear, I am absolutely sure a lot of people who dislike her are gooners and weirdo women haters. I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand. A lot of the time, you have to admit. Every single damn time, I ask people though, why they dislike Pokimane, because I genuinely want to know. I never really watched her, never really interacted with her stuff. And the only understandable reason I thought people don't like Pokimane is because of the sort of recent cookie drama that happened a few years ago. Feel old yet? And people were hating on Pokimane way before then. So I had to find out what this is all about. My first thought was that it's probably a lot of like fallen fans who went from parasocial love to parasocial snarking. That seems to be a pipeline that a lot of people kind of fall under. Once Pokimane had a big drama about apparently having a boyfriend, and then Sims got sad and realized that they probably never stood a chance with her anyway. I don't know about all that. I'm not sure about all that. This is just kind of my thinking of like what's gone down from like the peripheral of what I've heard. Rumors that I've heard. Gossips that have been gossiping. Which I think this whole thing of like, oh, I don't have a chance with her, she has a boyfriend. This whole thing is not exclusive to male simps of female creators. It happens to women who follow male creators, male celebrities as well. And I do think there's a double standard here when it comes to calling out women with simp armies. I feel like we don't use the word simp anymore. We need to bring back the word simp. No, we don't. But I feel like a lot of people aren't really ready to have that conversation. So yeah, I acknowledge that there's a lot of weirdos out there whose reasons for disliking Pokimane feel like they're kind of reaching and misogynistic. We may get into that at some point in this series. It's going to be a series, guys. I'm sorry. I think it's going to be at least a two-parter. At this point, I'm not sure. This is going to be a multi-parter, I think. Not going to lie. But what I do want to talk about today is that I believe there actually are some good reasons, or at least things, that had me reeling back just a little bit. Things about Pokimane that were off-putting to me, and now it also makes sense why so many people have trouble explaining this attitude towards Poki, because the drama is deep. It is deep. It's a bit convoluted, it's lengthy, and that's why it's going to be a multi-parter. So, hit the subscribe button, make sure to have those subs turned on, the notifications turned on, because this is going to be a multi-parter, like I've already said. Multiple times. So, with my last video about Brittany Broski, I realized that some people might be watching it without knowing exactly who the person is, the subject of the video, and if that's you, then this section is just for you. It's going to be giving you some backstory about Pokimane and who she is, what she's done, what she does. If you already know this stuff, feel free to skip ahead. There's timestamps. You can thank me later. So, Pokimane got her start streaming on Twitch around 2013, and in 2017, she gained around 450,000 followers on Twitch, and she has about almost 10 million now. And so she earned her place in the 100 most followed on the platform, and as a result of this success, she earned a Shorty Award. Whatever the fuck that means. A Shorty Award. I feel like if anyone deserves a Shorty Award, it's me. It's me. I'm really short. I'm taking a very literal take on the Shorty Awards. So anyway, this award named her as the best streamer of the year. And according to the Shorty Awards, her gameplay and commentary on League of Legends is what propelled her to popularity. Damn, I miss my calling. Now I'm washed up and playing League of Legends and Big 26. Damn it. Missed my shot. It's also like, I guess I'll note as well, she started streaming when she was like 17 years old or something. which is like pretty young. Pokimane also had a cameo appearance in a League of Legends trailer announcing a new game mode around 2018. Pokimane had a whole thing with Fortnite as well. Then she had her own emote announced in 2020. There might be a Pokimane model. I'm not sure about that. Who cares? Honestly, who cares? She had a thing with Fortnite. Congratulations. Happy for you. I mean that, listen, in Australia, we use like swear words like so liberally. It's like it's I'm sorry. It has been described that the appeal of Pokimane's streams has largely been due to her like laid back attitude, but then she has an enthusiastic personality, which I feel like that's contradictory and does not make much sense to me. I would describe her more as like bubbly. I think she's like very like bubbly and like cutesy. But anyway, apparently the way she presents herself is perfect for long form streams, according to Digital Trends. She seems to do a variety of streaming stuff, but also podcasts, IRL streaming, which is very popular. The IRL streams, very popular. And she collaborates with all the popular LA streamers, which is a win-win for everyone involved there. Pokimane had the benefit of directly partnering with Twitch in 2018, and she was one of the 15 brand ambassadors for the 2018 iteration of the TwitchCon event. In 2020, around March, Pokimane signed an exclusivity deal with Twitch. And in 2020, Poki also collaborated with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilan Omar and other various streamers as a way to reach out to the young people to encourage them to vote. Now, according to Social Blade, which I don't know if Social Blade is still being used or not, but according to Social Blade way back when, in December of 2021, Pokimane was listed as the 9th most followed Twitch streamer, with 8.5 million followers. And in 2021, she was also featured on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list as an honoree under the games category. It was noted that she was the largest female streamer on Twitch and one of the founders of Offline TV, which, if you don't know, Offline TV is like a massive YouTube collaborative channel where it features like a whole host of different creators all working together. It's kind of like, I'm not gonna say it's a content house, but it's like they operate like a content house, but then they don't really actually live together, if that makes sense. It's kind of weird. In early January of 2022, Pokimane was suspended for 48 hours. I believe, yes, 48 hours. Midway through an Avatar The Last Airbender watch stream. Yeah. And apparently later in that month, Poki was hate-rated by Gideon, who she referred to as Dijon Mustard, and then he got banned, and then Ninja made an announcement saying he would try to use his connections to get Gideon unbanned, and then since then, Poki and Dijon Mustard, I guess, have apparently made amends. I really like Dijon Mustard, so to me that's a compliment. Yeah, the whole Airbender watch together party meta, or even just TV show watch meta, remember that for the next video. Yeah. I think you'll be able to remember that, right? Pokimane has had quite a few business endeavors that she's been a part of, which is necessary to know for later chapters, so I know I told people to skip if they wanted to, so note to myself, make the timestamp end here, because you need to know this. So, along with being the co-founder of Offline TV, Poki she joined the clothing line named Cloak, which was founded by Markiplier and Dark Souls or Bloodborne producer Jacksepticeye. Poki joined on as a partner and creative director in 2020. And then in late 2021, Pokimane helped launch a talent agency and brand consulting firm called RTS. I guess it's an interesting name. RTS, it's like a reference to the video game genre, but real-time strategy. I think that's what RTS stands for, right? Real-time strategy? Yeah. Okay, interesting name. So she was a chief creative officer, but ended up leaving around 2 to 3 years later, selling her stocks in the company for, according to her, at least 6 figures. And then 2023 is the year where Pokimane launched Minor. No, not that. Oh my god, not Minor. Minor. Like the bird? Minor. Oh. I'm gonna stop saying that. She launched a cookie company. A company that sells, apparently, healthy snacks, and their first product was a cookie with vitamin D added to it. In terms of podcasting, Poki had launched her first pod in December of 2023, which ended in June of 2024, apparently she had nothing left to say, so she ended it. It was a solo podcast, I think. And then on September 13th of 2024, the first episode of the Sweet and Sour podcast with Lily Pichu was uploaded. And that podcast went on for around 68 episodes and then ended recently in April of 2026. Entering a business centered around snacks and snacks for gamers, healthy snacks, yada yada, is nothing new for content creators and people who have an audience. I think it seems pretty logical to me that anyone who has like a large audience goes into a different vertical to further create products for said audience, because it's like you already have a bunch of people who follow you, support you. It just makes sense from like, I guess, a business and like wealth accumulation standpoint to try and make new businesses and do new things, I guess. And for Pokimane, this cookie brand was one of them. So we're going to talk about the Cookie Fiasco. The fated, gluten-free, GMO-free, vitamin D containing cookies landed. While we know now from Pokimane that she didn't really have that much to do with the cookie brand,
every detail. Last but not least, the cookies company, which I launched like 2-3 years ago. Unfortunately, the launch for that did not go as we planned. So as soon as I realized, oh, maybe this isn't the right time for me to be the face of a product, I stepped away from the company and I let them just continue operating as they please. That was 2 or 3 years ago. I think they might have started winding down since then, but I haven't really had much involvement since the launch.
Other than being someone who advertised it, she should have been more informed on the cookies, their production, the quality, to really advertise it and sell it well, I think. I think that's part of being the face of a brand, is that you actually know it pretty well. Otherwise, it just comes off as like, I don't know, like a side piece that you don't really care about. Especially at the price that it was. Essentially, yeah, Pokimane was the face of the brand, entering a business, and the way she put it, she came to a realization after a bad launch that her job as a creator was clashing with being a business owner. When people started to complain about the price, if Pokimane was well informed, I think she could have defended the brand, at least better explaining it to people as to why it was the way that it was. At least then people would have had some sort of explanation and perhaps accepted it. Instead, because I believe she got flustered in the moment, she perhaps didn't expect the uproar of the price, so she made a dumb joke, the first thing that maybe came into her head, claiming people were just brokies and didn't want to admit it.
People are like, oh my god, $28 for cookies? It's 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard when you're an idiot, but like, if you're a broke boy, just say so.
We can argue about her comment and whether it was a joke or not. To me, it really just indicates that she just took an easy brand deal, or an easy brand, and she didn't expect the reaction that she got, because, in my opinion, I think she's probably quite a bit out of touch. So I guess she just didn't know what to do in that moment. And mind you, Pokimane isn't new to being kind of snippy sometimes, or being kind of like having like those comments that she makes. Like, she kind of does that in her streams from what I've seen. It's just like this combination of the price of the cookies, the shipping, and then her making like a snide remark didn't go over very well. So the launch for the brand wasn't good. It didn't go as expected. And according to Pokimane, at a certain point, she stepped away from the business and just allowed them to operate as they pleased. Don't know what that means. Apparently she didn't take any profits, though it was making her money. It was just the money went to staff and investments instead. So she didn't have any profits in that. That's what she said. And looking at the cookie incident retrospectively, she initially launched it saying that they'd spent 2 years perfecting the recipe, when people could clearly see the ingredients were not that much different to the same manufacturer's other cookie that was actually previously sold at Costco. That was essentially the same, aside from having vitamin D added in. It really does read as Pokimane being kind of dishonest, in my opinion. her apology regarding the cookie situation was also just like not great in my opinion. I think sure she acknowledged how her words could have hurt people and she apologized for it, but then she said her comment was meant for one person in the chat and it wasn't meant to be targeted at more people. Okay. And I feel like that doesn't really matter when the person pointing out a struggle with the price of the shipping and the cookies is going to affect not just one person, but like so many people. So many different people are going to have this problem. And I feel like a lot of people during this drama were kind of like, oh, it's blown out of proportion, it's ridiculous. It's probably just a bunch of like misogynistic, people who just hate on Pokey for whatever reason. And I think there is that thing where it's like, you kind of dislike a person and suddenly something happens and a lot of people capitalize on those moments to be like, oh, well, I always hated on them. I never liked them anyway. So I think, yeah, if Pokimane wasn't out of touch, I feel like she would have recognized that the shipping and the cost of the cookies, it's like probably a little bit too much for most people, and especially in this economy where a lot of people are struggling, and we're going to be talking more about the economy and struggles. Yay. Because we have to talk about it, I guess. And then it was especially tone deaf when later on during a Black Friday sale, she made a callback to her broke boys comment and tried to make a joke out of it again.
How are the cookies going? Good. I don't know if you guys saw, but we're doing a promotion. It is not a broke boys Black Friday sale. It is, if you buy a pack of 8 or 12, you get a free hat. It's a really cute hat. I have one.
And this is the kind of humor that I don't think Pokimane knows how to pull off, because it comes off as her just kind of saying the same damn thing all over again, really. I get that it's just a cookie. Who gives a damn? And also, it's not that surprising when an influencer or creator goes and partners with a brand, makes a brand or whatever, starts a new fad snack, and I get it. It's a business strategy. A lot of the time it makes sense. But it is so ran through. I guess at the time maybe it wasn't as bad. See, I don't know if I can even say that, because I feel like I think of all these different like YouTubers and stuff who have their own brands, and it's just like, I feel like it falls apart so often. I remember when Trisha Paytas, Israeli TV reality show star, she had a skincare brand, and people were actually like really surprised. They like order it and they'd be like, oh my god, I'm so surprised. The ingredients and the quality is actually like so good. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people all the time they make like skincare brands or whatever, and then it's like low-key kind of a scam. Not gonna lie. Allegedly, I'm not referencing anyone in particular. But yeah, it just ends up being shit. So many like influencers have their own shit that's just like bad. And when someone like Pokimane has kind of talked extensively about the wealth divide, hating the rich, etc., this drama hits differently, I guess. Even someone like Hassan, who complains about capitalism, even his iconic Kaya allegedly shocking moment, he's midway through complaining about capitalism. And this guy has a clothing brand where he's like, oh yeah, it's all about unionized Americans, and it's an American brand, or made in America or something. Which has been disputed, but I don't know nothing about nobody. When it comes to the details of his clothing brand and where it's manufactured from, I don't know, but I just know it's been disputed, and I think it's interesting that people say that. Either way, Hassan is very well able to have his cake and eat it too, and Pokimane kind of not so much. It's funny, but I would say it's really not. I think she's trying to have her cake and eat it too, and I'll show you. I'll show you. But before we get to the capitalism section, I want to talk about Pokimane rebranding for women. It is said that Pokimane is only popular because of a persona, not because of innovation or anything interesting. Which, to me, is kind of like saying, yeah, anyone who collects Labubus or Pusheen stuff is just collecting stuff with, like, no real usefulness. Yeah. Obviously, Pokimane became one of, if not the most successful woman streamer for a reason. Whether you personally see the merit in that or not is, I think, irrelevant. there were more than enough people who believed otherwise. And that's kind of just how it is, especially in capitalism. It doesn't matter if something is morally right or ethically sound, more contributory than other things, some stuff just propels far beyond what it ought to. I think that's how it is to be human, trying to make sense of things that just don't make sense. XQC hasn't done particularly anything groundbreaking in streaming or innovative. I like his content. I actually started watching him again for his Resident Evil 9 gameplay. But he's not doing anything particularly different to any other streamer. But he has his own unique personality and way that he makes his content that I can enjoy from time to time. Listen, I have art commissions to do. I need background entertainment. Okay, thank you. Please understand. So what I'm trying to say about Pokimane and her being perceived as uninteresting or a waste of time, quite frankly, that's your opinion. And I'm not inclined to disagree with that opinion either. But I do think it's one of those things where just because we don't watch it, we wouldn't watch it, doesn't automatically mean that applies to everything else in the world. I'm thinking of Married at First Sight. Married at First Sight has tons of people who watch it. Is it really good TV? Is it really ethically right? Pairing people up with people who will emotionally abuse them, allegedly, frankly? Not good. Despite what we have been taught, that people get what they deserve, whether it's good or bad, whether you're a Disney villain earning comeuppance or a shy hero reaping the rewards of true justice. Our real life world isn't that linear. Bad people get propelled to fame and fortune all the time, and good people can too. Our view on whether they are good or bad, though, that can also be very polarizing for many people, as different people have different viewpoints and takes. Take, again, Israeli reality TV show star Trisha Paytas, for example. She is probably one of the most polarizing public figures I reckon I can think of, yet does fine no matter what. How does this link towards Pokimane and all this stuff? Listen, while this section doesn't really have too much to do with why Pokimane is disliked, it has a little bit. I think her subtle rebranding, which maybe wasn't intentional, I can't tell honestly because I think it was so gradual. I don't think a lot of people really talked about it. I think Poki's interests over time could have just shifted perhaps, and with that brings you a different audience. She makes different content. We know that she went away for a bit, she came back, and then her content was different. But I just want to illustrate the point, which is her audience she built her brand off initially, most likely going to be alienated for a different and new audience, one that is perhaps women between 20 and 30-ish years old, I presume. And like I said, I think a lot of people didn't notice the rebrand or have really talked about it. I noticed it personally, but she has been getting so many comments about her age and how she's embarrassing herself for doing what she does at her age or something like that, which essentially a lot of men, I think, view her as aging out of the streaming space, whether they're fallen fans or just guys who just don't like her. I don't know, but you obviously know that I find that to be kind of ridiculous. Just saying. Personally, I think that's ridiculous. But I can see how she would want to change her audience if that's her audience saying that. Who knows? If your audience is majority men, and those men are getting tired of looking at you or looking for someone who is younger that they can fawn over, then yeah, someone like Pokimane is going to realize that they need to pivot. Then I guess you could say in that sense, you are kind of aging out of it, but just not the way that they're saying, but in a different kind of way, I guess. Going from girl gamer content for da boys to influencer chic for the ladies is how I kind of personally see the journey that she's done with her content. I believe the change in her brand was slowly starting to shift from 2021 to 2022, and in September of 2022, Pokimane made a video about her break from content creation. After that, her main channel shifted from gaming-specific content to lifestyle and vlog videos. Her brand became more about authenticity and giving viewers a glimpse into her life and her struggles. Her TikTok also shifted during this time, and I would say probably has had the biggest shift out of all of her stuff. She went from doing gaming clips, following trends, to where you make like cutesy like facial expressions, to get ready with me style content, where again I think it's like trying to be authentic and personal, talking about her hobbies, doing her makeup, what she's allergic to, etc. Don't get me wrong, she would still do cutesy videos and be all the kawaii, adorable, you know, if that's like the moment called for it, I guess. She would still do that stuff. But if you think that's only appealing to men solely, I got some news for you, buddy. At this point, her comment sections are still predominantly men, but there are women peppered throughout here and there. If she does a video like a day in my life or an unboxing video of PR packages, I think women like to watch that stuff. Especially if it's like unboxing like makeup or something, or like a haul from like a designer store, Sephora, or something like that. We really like watching that stuff. I don't mean to sound sexist or anything, I'm just saying that, do you really expect a straight man to watch Pokimane unbox makeup? I mean, most guys can't even tell the difference between concealer and foundation. I think also when Poki started to debut her natural curls, people started to see a different side of her and appreciate what she was doing with that. And also realizing like, oh, this whole time Poki has been like Moroccan. A lot of people like did not know that. And then she started doing this whole thing where she's like queer baiting the girlies. Oh, like saying, oh, the only time I'm jealous of a man is when he has a cute stay-at-home girlfriend. I'm so jealous of that. I want one.
Is when he has a cute ass stay-at-home girlfriend. Like, can you imagine someone making you home-cooked meals every day? How does it feel to live my dream?
Kind of like signaling to women like, hey, I'm for the girlies. Like, not actually, but in mindset.
Passing the phone to someone I would date if they were single.
Okay. Poki kind of gives me the vibe that when she like knows a lesbian woman, she like goes up to the lesbian and goes like, oh, I hate men. Oh, I wish I could have a girlfriend, but oh, I'm straight. Oh, but I hate being straight. That's the vibe that I kind of get from her. Then we have videos of Pokimane talking about giving away influencer secrets and discussing actors in fake relationships. Again, these are videos that are given a hook about like tea and gossip. I personally think we women, we love that. We eat it the fuck up because I'm interested in that. I want to hear more Poki. And that's okay, I'm not shy about that. I'm not ashamed of that. And I do think guys will perhaps still watch that kind of stuff if it's Poki and if they're fans. But a lot of dudes, I find, try to repel these themes of like gossipiness because, oh, it sounds like I just said the word penis. Because I think gossip and tea and stuff is like more of like a feminine thing. So, sidebar. Gossip is for everyone, we all partake in it, and it's not an inherently feminine thing to do, so if you think you're not gossiping, you are. I think you need to evaluate your actions. Just a little bit. Gossip can come in all different shapes and forms and types, okay? We then have more videos of Pokimane showing off her outfits, doing mini vlog-style videos, following those low-key dance trends where you really just move your arms and your hands and you just do like... She likes doing this one a lot. I know they do it all the time. And then mid-2023 is where I believe you start seeing the jump a little bit clearer. We get a fated Omegle clip where Pokimane says, men only want one thing, and some guys really took that to heart. Then, as our capitalist queen does, she goes to a Gucci fashion show held in a legit palace in Korea. Look, all I'm gonna say is that if I was in her shoes, I'd probably want to go to that too. We'll get into the capitalism stuff soon. In 2024, we have Pokimane trying 2000s fashion and makeup trends. Again, stuff that appeals to a lot of women, I think. showing off her face without makeup, making content about being Moroccan. If you look at her TikToks today in 2026, you will notice her comment section is completely full of women, which, love that for her. If that's what she wanted, love that for her. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I feel like I have to preface this. There's nothing wrong with doing a rebrand, having it all just women, but I just thought it was so interesting, like, looking at her TikTok and just seeing how everyone keeps saying that Pokimane is such, like, a male-centric figure, or she's simp army, yada yada yada, and you look at TikTok, and quite frankly, she's for the girlies, I fear. Some people say they're for the girlies, but I think, me, Pokimane, I'm the mostest of the girlies. That was terrible. Anyway, so Pokimane, in my point of view, has done a rebrand of her internet persona. I think a lot more women now watch her, and this isn't a point to say that any of that is necessarily bad. I think it makes sense to shift your focus at some point. She also probably doesn't even need to worry about any of that shit. I mean, she's so rich. She, I guess she retired from streaming or something. Like, she still does streams, but I don't know if she's, like, constant with it like she used to be. Yeah, so it's like, even if she did, like, a rebrand, whether intentionally or unintentionally, does it really matter at this point? Maybe not. I think there's another element here of being someone who is a streamer that skyrockets to fame. Your OG audience, the people who were there with you when you first started out, had, like, fewer viewers. Those people are now alienated. Yeah. People who she used to read the chats of, interact with them, they're now lost in a sea of other people. And when someone gets as popular as Pokimane did, now you have to think about brand deals, sponsors, being professional, and all that annoying stuff. Which I think indicates an interesting move where these big creators are almost trying to get back to the roots of, like, authenticity that fame kind of removed from that, or at least that adjustment period of now being like, oh, all these eyes are on me, uh-oh, and that's just kind of an adjustment for them. It's like trying to be authentic and brand safe at the same time, so think what you will about that. Ooh, capitalism enjoyer Pokimane. Is she a capitalism enjoyer? I think it's pretty safe to say. Maybe. In my opinion, I think she is. Pokimane's inconsistency in beliefs on capitalism and the comment about being a brokey in the cookie drama, it all just is, like, out of touch re the Cookie Fiasco, right? Again, it might have seemed silly on one hand, but in my opinion, does kind of indicate that Pokimane's thoughts on capitalism aren't really quite lining up with how she actually acts. And this section is going to show more of that. You can't complain about how bad capitalism is and then be the face of a cookie brand that seemingly just upped their prices because they had a celebrity face as the brand ambassador. I get that they do that. It's not uncommon for that to happen. But if you have these principles and stuff, maybe your actions should kind of reflect that. I think it's okay to judge someone for spouting ideals and then not really following through with them. I think that's fine. And that's where the whole luxury brand peddling really irks me with Pokimane. She will make a video buying a load of luxury brand items for her friends or a new purse for herself, then be like, type something in the comments and I'll get you something. Don't worry, I got something for you too.
Here's everything I got my friends for my birthday. And don't worry, I got something for you too. I'm
gonna add Pokimane to the list of impersonations I can do. The thing is, Pokimane seems nice and caring. There was a trend where people were putting money in, like, baby products because, like, mothers would be buying that stuff and trying to help out mothers in need. I think it was, like, kind of a bit after the pandemic. And Poki wanted to join the trend, but agreed that it probably wasn't the best trend to leave money and products on the shelves. There was, like, too many things that could kind of go wrong with that. So she took to contacting women in the comments, her team, verifying their stories as, like, mothers and if they're in need or whatever, and then giving them stuff privately. Which sounds all well and good, but it's entirely possible nothing even came from that. And I'm not alleging anything, I'm not saying I have insider knowledge, but this charity giveaway stuff that relies on people needing to comment, and it's all just kind of done, I don't know, in a way that it just make people feel like it's shady. I don't know anything. Dear God, I hope to God that Pokimane was actually following through with that stuff, and a part of me is like, I'm sure that she did. I'm sure she does do good stuff like that. Sometimes it kind of feels though, like when creators do a bunch of giveaways, give money away, feels like it's like a social fine, where sometimes when celebrities do bad things, they're like, oh, well, I'm actually going to give a bunch of money to this, like, homeless shelter or something. And it's like a fine that you give out, or you pay out to the public to curry back favor. Anyway, I might be ranting about something completely different there. But, like, people like the Kardashians will do these Instagram giveaways where it's like, you have to follow this person and that person, and then like this, comment down below, and then we'll pick someone to win. And it's like, does anyone actually win these things? I feel like it makes sense that people would be, like, skeptical of this stuff. Right? The fact that no one ever makes a video being like, OMG, look at what Pokimane did for me. Oh my god, I'm so grateful. Like, oh wow, I got something from Mr. Beast. Has anyone ever actually made a video being like, no fucking way, I got this thing from Mr. Beast? It's like the same skepticism I have when people are, like, recounting stories, and I'm like, yeah, that happened. That happened. Sure. And then it's like, if you think about it, if no one's actually getting anything in these giveaways, and so all these people are commenting, following these people to enter, it's like, oh, you're just getting, like, free algorithmic pushes. That's my skepticism. But when it comes to Pokimane, or anybody, I have no idea if anything's actually happening or not. I'm just kind of just speculating. It's just my opinion. And ever since I found out you can just lie on social media, make up any story, make it as insane as you want, as ridiculous as you can, and people will believe it. It's really quite shocking to me. And I know people are going to be like, yeah, Kate, of course people do that. But the thing is, I just never thought to do that, really. I think I made one video that was a joke, and I lied about playing Project Zomboid, thinking it was The Sims 1, and getting scared when there was, like, zombies and stuff, and it went viral. It kind of went viral. And after that, I was like, oh, lying really does just work. Okay. Getting back to the luxury brand stuff, I feel like you can't talk about how much you hate capitalism, then participate in it so hard in these brands, luxury brands. Like, I know Hassan deflects this all the time by being like, oh, well, I can criticize society and participate in it. You have to participate in society. But buying a shirt worth thousands of dollars is not necessary by any means. You don't have to buy your friends all matching Van Cleef bracelets. This is where I think Pokey tries to also have her cake and eat it too, because she pairs every video where she goes on a shopping spree with a tone check. She prefaces it with, oh, I bought all of my assistants all this great luxury designer brands, but don't worry, I'm gonna give you stuff too. That was a bit high-pitched. I can't do the ASMR voice, I'm sorry. My grating Australian accent will rip your ears apart. Like, it's funny to me how she can go to a bunch of Gucci and Dior stores in Paris, then go live talking about the wealth disparity is so bad. It just comes off as very tone deaf, right? And, like, damage control-y. Like, oop, I just flexed my wealth a bunch. Time to remind people, the peasants, I'm just like them. I am one of the good rich people. I'm not rich though.
Do you think someday we'll have a revolution like that in America? Right? It's getting there, right?
We've already had one.
Another one.
What's going on?
The wealth disparity is getting bad.
The wage gap, I hate that shit.
No, wealth disparity.
Wealth disparity.
Wage gap is like between men and women. Men and women, we love each other.
What are we even doing here?
Facts.
And we hate the rich. Anyways. Too much.
Aren't you the rich?
No! Like the
Pokey.
ultra rich. The ultra giga rich. The
You have to
unnecessarily
clarify. They're gonna clip that and it's gonna make you look bad.
Oh,
You
The
gotta
ultra
say
giga
you gotta
rich.
say the billionaires.
the billionaires.
you are rich.
The Bezos.
You can't be saying that.
I am. I'm rich in friendship.
Yes.
Then we have Pokimane talking about how much she hates capitalism and how much it has ruined society and that people are prioritizing work over family and relationships.
Fortunately, we live in such a self-centered, capitalistic society. And it sucks because it trains us to prioritize work and money above all else, even friendships, even being there for other people. And then, again, it creates this culture where people are like, oh, I don't want to bother them. They're probably busy.
I mean, have you seen the state of the world right now? Okay. To me, this rant that she's done, I don't entirely disagree with. I don't. I think that she has some points, of course. It kind of seemed to me like more of a bizarre rambling that was half about something else than the capitalism points. Like, it's genuinely ironic to have a Labubu chained to your microphone while you talk about this, though. I believe, personally, that society is self-centered not because of capitalism, but because most people becoming parents can't be bothered to pick up a book and read about how to actually raise your kids. Capitalism, I think, brings people down, ruins the arts and creativity, it's soul-crushing, and a lot of people can't afford to live.
The wing's alien instinct escaped and he just charged $250 worth of Louis Vuitton chocolate? Dude.
I'm sorry.
Yo, rich people just be buying shit, man. Like, we really just bought a fucking 250 euro chocolate Louis Vuitton egg to not even eat half of it, bro.
We are in a period where the wealth divide is greater than ever. Wages are probably worse than they've ever been. Houses are not affordable. Need I go on? I really don't need to preach to the choir, do I? We all been knowing this shit. If we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, a big chunk of society right now and for a long time have been struggling with the bottom of this pyramid. Someone like Pokimane is at the top of the pyramid, able to spend time doing whatever she pleases.
Anyways, this is my favorite Miu Miu purse ever.
How much was that?
What?
I'm just asking, like, how much, like, break down the fit.
Okay, how much was this?
This was 10.
Dollars?
Are you fucking kidding?
Dollars. This is a prod leather jacket. Well, I think it's faux leather. And then I have a little For Love and Lemons 2-piece set. Oh, and I'm wearing Guizio Puma sneakers because I wanted to be comfy today.
How much?
I think the set is maybe 150, 200. The jacket is maybe like 60.
Yeah, it's like...
The bag, I really don't remember, but it's still
probably cool.
available for sale, I think.
What? The bag like you, what? $200?
Maybe a couple more hundred.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
I bet.
I think the shoes were 200 as
Wait,
well.
can I leave the backpack in here, you think?
Or
no?
You think we can leave the backpack in here?
No, guys, not 60K.
Oh yeah, that handbag, by the way, it's around 5,000 to 4,000 USD. Also, it's leather. Yeah, she talks about her jacket like, oh, I think it's faux. I think it's faux, but then your purse just isn't. Okay, cool. Oh, I don't remember how much my purse cost, but my jacket was, it was only like 60. It's only like $60. Okay, cool. Dude, the fucking handbag, I was looking around, I was like, okay, I'm gonna find out how much did this handbag cost? It doesn't really matter, because in the same video, the same kind of area, they're talking about buying like an $8,000 bag that's like made of exotic leather, and Pokimane's kind of like, put it down. Because it's like, you start hearing exotic leather, people start thinking about like the white rhinos, they start thinking about all the culling that happens in like Africa and shit, or like the safaris. People might think about like the dentist who killed like a rare elephant or something.
If we were dating, it might be different. But then again, honestly, even if I'm dating a dude and I make a lot more money, I would do that.
make a lot more money.
Oh, then Jason?
Yeah.
Oh, he's young boy.
I don't know.
But
I don't know Jason's
Jason makes good money.
Yeah, I'm very blessed.
Good money.
But
But I've just been doing it so much longer, so it's like it's okay.
she's rich.
You're rich too.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. And that's another thing about these fucking luxury brands. Like, they're made of like made of like crocodiles, alligators, elephants. They're made up of all like these animals and stuff. And it's like, I feel like, you know what? If you're a meat eater, if you're anemic, you need to eat meat. That's how you choose to get your iron. I mean, at least it's like it has a purpose. You don't respect the animal, at least it has a purpose. You know? Whereas when you're buying a handbag, not even like from a thrift. If you thrift something, I feel like that's fine. But you're buying like a straight up just a handbag made out of like a fucking rare white rhino or something, potentially, maybe, allegedly, look it up. I gotta say, I have a problem with that, boys. I have a problem with that. And then Pokimane tweeting that capitalism rewards psychopathic behavior. It shouldn't be a controversial statement because I agree with it. I don't disagree with her, but she criticizes people for having a sub count and showing their sub count because they're already rich and stuff.
People who have like 50K subs and they're like, let's get 51K. I hate saying potentially controversial stuff or telling people what to do, but I do personally find that a little bit off-putting.
But then she's making a cookie brand that's really just generally unaffordable for general consumers. Like, if you wanted to make a luxury snack brand, fine, just call it what it is. It's not even the sort of thing where Pokey was outspoken about capitalism before she got big, and then she had a taste of it, and now she's like enjoying all the stuff that comes with her status and her fortune. I feel like she has a cognitive dissonance when it comes to it. She implores that she's not really rich, then she does a bunch of videos splurging tens of thousands of dollars on just friends, buying like a $250 Louis Vuitton chocolate egg. You can't buy taste. You really can't. I'm not saying that this content shouldn't exist at all. I follow strippers who are always showing off their jewelry, their cars, designer luxury items, going to Disneyland, going on cruises. Cruises aren't really that crazy, I guess. I don't know. I've never been on a cruise. I don't mind getting a glimpse into a world and someone's live streaming it, someone's on TikTok showing off their stuff. I actually think it's really interesting to see. I watched Gossip Girl. I like watching this stuff and seeing like another side of the world, even though I don't participate in it or enjoy it. I don't think it needs to be like completely like eradicated. I go to the optometrist and I look at the overpriced garbage sunglasses and it's like, yeah, they do look cool. Like, they have aura, don't get me wrong, but knowing that they're all made in like the same factory with the cheap shit is just kind of hilarious to me. Don't even get me started on the ethics of these luxury brands either, the labor exploitation that they partake in. People call it literally like modern slavery. Yeah, sometimes I look at the Gucci store and there's a line, there's a security, and there's like a mystique element to it, an element of like, ooh la la, what is in there? But these brands aren't much different to your regular peasant stores. Luxury brands at one point in time may have been all there is long ago, but these days many luxury brands, particularly in fashion, actually suffer from low quality despite the price tag. You're not buying a product, you're buying a brand, the logo, you're buying the logo, artificial scarcity. The same manufacturer that makes the big brand items will also make knockoffs. It's pretty genius, actually. I won't lie, I've looked at these things before and sometimes I kind of go, man, it would be cool to have that like status where you can actually afford that stuff, you can actually look at it. You don't have to look at the price tag or something. It's like, oh, I want to get a cute handbag for myself to go out with, to just like go with my outfit. I can see how you can have like opinions about these things, but when you actually get the opportunity or like your life actually changes in that way, it kind of like you're able to enter these stores, you don't look at the price tag, you don't even have to think about it. I can really see how that alters someone's brain chemistry, but what I think we don't need is Pokimane getting on her soapbox, talking about capitalism and how it rewards psychopathy and how it's crazy and how everyone's prioritizing work and finances over their family. It's like, Poki, people have to do that. I don't think people are like, yes, I love waking up at 4 a.m. and spending my entire day working, you know? And I don't get to see my kids for most of the day. I get to see my wife for maybe like 2 hours of the day. I don't get to talk to anyone I like. I don't get to see my family. No one likes that. But yeah, capitalism supports psychopathy. 100% agree. I can't say I disagree with any of that stuff, right? I really can't. I just think the messenger, being Pokimane, I don't think she does a good job of representing her views. Just saying. Anyway, that is the end of part 1. I have plenty more to go through in part 2. This is going to be a deep dive. And gosh, I don't know if there's going to be a part 3 to this. There might be. But I'll just say right now, there is almost 8,000 words in this document. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes, but there's definitely going to be a second part next week. So make sure you subscribe, like the video, and if you're curious, check out my other links. I have a Redbubble, a store. Oh, let's complain about capitalism. Anyway, so capitalism. I don't know. Check it out if you want to. If you're looking to give some gifts to people, I have some cute things that kind of work for all sorts of people. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry if it was a bit shorter than usual, but really crunching for time here today. So, thank you. Bye!